You automatically love something without knowing it is an unknown concept to me. I got to know my wife, then I fell in love with my wife, then I married my wife. Now I may have compassion, I may have empathy, I may have mercy, I may have long suffering on somebody. But see, that's a humanistic thing. And it's being taught in churches. And so the humanistic philosopher believes, that belief is that we can live a good life and we don't have to be that religious. In other words, you ain't got to follow the Bible. You can be a good life, live a good life, be saved, but you ain't got to follow that hard line religion and, and the superstitious beliefs, Churches are teaching that. You know who that's from? That was written in 2003, and that's a direct quote from the Humanistic magazine. Humanism is getting into the churches. That man, we got to care about man. I don't care about man if it's going to put God under him. Let that soak for a minute. I want to see souls saved. But if I've got to lower God to raise man up, it ain't going to happen with me. Amen. I don't care who they are. You say, well, that's not what Jesus, what would Jesus do? Jesus would do just what I said. Amen. Jesus said, if you love me, obey my commandments. Well, what's the greatest commandment? Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. You get that. Then what's the second greatest? Love thy neighbor as thyself. Okay, all right. Now you can get somewhere. You get to know your neighbor. You get to know him, then you learn to love him. You just don't automatically love him. You got to get to know him. Love thy neighbor as thyself. See, we don't want to do that. There's too much work here. Can't we just skip all that? All right, and they left all the commandments of the Lord. That's what they're doing. They made mold and image. Just worship any way you want. Any way is a good way as long as you're doing it. So they make them some molded images. Oh, well, that's not so bad. That's okay. Well, yeah, it's okay, is it? Then when they start deciding they want you to start worshiping their images with them, and you don't get a choice. See, you've given them the freedom. Now, once they become the majority, they'll take your freedom away. Let me repeat that for you. You've given them the freedom. Then once they become the majority, they'll take your freedom away. Well, who does that? The LBJQDXYZ is doing it. The transgenders are doing it. See, you gave them, ladies, you gave them the freedom because you supported them, feminism. Now they're in your sports, and you can't get rid of them. And you can't open your mouth to say anything. So now the woman golfer, who is a man, but you can't call him a man, has taken your award. The gymnasts have taken your awards. The swimmer has taken your award. The golfers have taken your awards. The Woman of the Year that was presented by President Biden's wife has taken your award and says that you need to step it up. That a man is more of a woman than you are. What? What they do? They left all the commandments of the Lord and made them molten images of 2 calves and made them a grove and worshipped all the host of heaven and served Baal. Serving the devil. What is that? That's the devil. What that is. That's demonic. A man dresses like a woman, thinks he's a woman, brother, that's a demon. That's demonic. And then you turn him loose on children and say it's okay. Because we don't want to impede on anybody's freedom. You see? Amen. Well, I'll tell you what, then they cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire. Well, now, we don't have a literal fire, but we sure are serving our children right over the veil through the public school system. Well, not here in East Tennessee. Not yet here in East Tennessee. Not yet. Not yet here in East Tennessee. But, brother, it be a-coming. And you can bet your little booties on that. Because in these big cities, it be there. What are they doing? Well, we just won't tell mom and dad, you want to be a transgender? Well, that's all right. You can come to us and we'll help you and guide you to the right doctors. Get you on the right medication. Don't worry about telling mom and daddy. They don't have a say in this.
The principal of Sweetwater Junior High, he retired just because of that. He said, I'm not going to do what they want me to do.
Oh, so it is a coming.
Yeah. He's a saved man, goes to another church. He said, I can't put it.
Right here in the middle. I'm going to tell you, yes, ma'am.
Aaron's cousin is a teacher over at Nyota, and if a kid wants to transition, they can go talk to the counselor. Every teacher there has to call them by what they want to be called. He, she, it, they, and they
So
don't have to tell
pronouns are
they don't have to tell the parents.
Don't have to tell the parents. So you, parent, have no rights. Now, you may think you have rights, but you don't. And the first time you step up and buck up, they'll take that kid away from you. Well, I'm gonna instill my moral. No, not anymore. You're not. United States government's going to tell you what you'll instill. What has happened to our country? You happened to our country. Because you and I and our parents before us refused to step up and stand up.
That's right.
You say, I'm stepping up and standing up. Okay, good. That's good. You're doing it now. That's great. But it ain't going to fix the situation. Amen. What can we do? Tell as many as we can, as fast as we can, as quick as we can, for whatever length of time we have left about Jesus Christ, do right, and serve the Lord. Amen. That's what we ought to be doing. And had the pulpits been doing what they should have been doing, that have been preaching against this and standing against this, and had their congregations at the school board meetings beating and banging and hitting the desk and letting their voices be known, but instead the silent majority sat by silently, and it has taken over. Let somebody else do it. I don't have time. So now, here we are in the middle of the Bible Belt with the belt unbuckled and pants down around our knees. Amen. And so now they're passed their children through the fire and used divinations and enchantments and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord to provoke him to anger. So then we wonder why God starts not blessing America. Well, I'll tell you, God's not going to bless America, not as long as America's doing that, and our leadership is supporting it. Listen, when you got an administration that supports that and backs that, that is telling God, the leadership of America is telling God, it rains on the just and the unjust. I understand you don't believe it, but the leadership says it, so the nation goes. Amen. So as the heart of the king goes, that's how it goes. Yeah. That's right. So when you think it's not important whether you are involved in whether the leadership is up there or not, and preachers get up there and preach that, hey, it doesn't matter who you vote for and all that. I understand it may not matter in the end, but it does matter as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You ought to take an active interest in who is the county commissioner, who is going to be the mayor, who is going to be the state representative, who is going to be in the White House. Amen, amen, amen. But do it? No. Therefore the Lord was very